Coding bootcamps are a great place to learn coding and programming on a clearly defined, guided path. They're ideal for those looking to switch careers and provide a quicker way for programmers to find the right jobs from the market. But coding bootcamps might not be for everyone, especially if you're new to the programming world. It's important to take some things into consideration before you jump in head first. You might have heard people suggesting you a coding bootcamp whenever you talk about a career transition towards the tech world. But coding bootcamps require dedication, time, and more often than not, money. And it's not always possible to balance your life, considering there might be other roles for you as well. Therefore, the decision to join a bootcamp must come only after you carefully assess the impacts and possible consequences of joining one. Moreover, it's also important to consider whether you need a coding bootcamp in the first place. In this video, I'll take you through some essentials to help you understand whether you need a coding bootcamp or not. First, what are coding bootcamps? Coding bootcamps are fast-track, guided ways to learn the essential skills in coding and programming. Through a coding bootcamp, you can work in a specific tech niche to target your desired job market, like a web developer, app developer, or data science, for example. Simply put, they are great for prospective developer enthusiasts who want to speed their way to a desired job after graduation from a program. On average, a coding bootcamp can last about 3 to 4 months. Some more comprehensive programs can go up to 6 months. Also, the participants have the option to take full-time courses or part-time. Also, there are online and physical bootcamp options to accommodate both students and professionals. Some things to consider before deciding on a bootcamp. Your decision to join a coding bootcamp may depend on different personal preferences and professional or academic obligations. So think of those aspects before finalizing your decision on a bootcamp. So first, how do you enjoy coding? First, analyze how you feel about coding, or if you think it's something you could see yourself doing in a career. Does it frustrate you? Or can you write code for hours and hours without taking breaks? It's a good idea to have at least tested the waters a little bit on coding before opening your wallet and joining a bootcamp. Coding bootcamps are rigorous and they require you to code and code for several hours. So if you're not fond of long and hard hours coding, you'll end up struggling to cope with your bootcamp. So if you don't enjoy coding consistently, then I wouldn't recommend to join a bootcamp. On the other hand, if you think you can take up the coding challenge, it's a good idea to spend several hours coding on your own. So before you join the bootcamp, you'll have developed a habit of coding for long hours without interruption. Because coding bootcamps tend to take a lot of your time during the day, it is also important that you enjoy coding because otherwise it would have left you frustrated. Next, you're going to consider your current skills. The self-analysis of your current aptitude is critical before joining a bootcamp. So analyze how close you are to landing your dream job and what shortfalls you're observing. For instance, if you're a computer science graduate and you have the basic understanding of programming, algorithms, and data structures, you're not too far off from your dream job as a machine learning engineer. In such a case, if you join a machine learning bootcamp, it may take too much of your time and you might not learn too many new things during your journey because most of your peers won't have the same foundational skills as you from your undergrad in CS. On the other hand, if you realize the gap is too large and it would take too long to do yourself, or you just don't know the right learning path, a coding bootcamp can be a great option to help you get there quicker. Next, you want to understand what you can self-learn. Once you self-analyze your skills, you can understand whether the required skill set is achievable through self-study or not. Since there are several online options like Code Academy and Khan Academy and others, taking a coding bootcamp can be pointless if you want to learn the basics of programming or computing. Try to figure out the topics that you can teach yourself. It'll be interesting to observe that you can do most of the things on your own without needing any bootcamps. However, if self-learning is not your thing, and you always need a teacher to guide you through, then a coding bootcamp becomes a better option. Next, you want to understand if you can afford a bootcamp cost. Remember that bootcamps are not cheap at all. In fact, the average bootcamp can cost around $11,874. While some bootcamps offer scholarships and different models that you can pay after securing a job, it's important to consider for all payment options. For instance, some bootcamps require students to pay up front, while others may have flexible monthly payment options. Upfront payment is usually less, but it's not always possible to arrange such amounts in one go. So whatever bootcamp you wish to join, make sure to check out their payment options. While you're at it, also check whether your bootcamp offers job placement or not. Another thing you should do is a job search. Often fresh graduates and junior level developer positions don't require immense skills or experience. So when a bootcamp offers a guaranteed job placement for these roles, it doesn't mean that they're not accessible without any bootcamp experience. In fact, you might be surprised to see that the gap for entry-level jobs isn't that big, and you can cover that through self-learning and a portfolio of work. Make sure to check out platforms like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and Indeed and many others to find out about the job market. Generally, when bootcamps guarantee a job, they end up giving you one. So it's not a bad option to join a bootcamp if you think finding a job on your own isn't easy. Next, you want to understand that you won't always get your dream job straight away. At times, bootcamps don't always give you the results that they market. So if you're thinking of landing your first job at Google, Apple, or Microsoft, remember it may not happen the first go around. So initially, it'll be more about getting experience and the skills that will enable you to reach your best organizations in the world. Some stats suggest that about 70% of fresh graduates from coding bootcamps are happy to work in small companies after finishing their bootcamp experience. These companies might not be larger than 100 employees. Next, you can look into cheaper options. A bootcamp is never the only solution to your career problems, so think of cheaper options like online courses from Coursera, Udemy, Udacity, and many other platforms offering engaging courses to help learners in polishing and upgrading their skills in computer sciences. Finally, if you have time, money, a liking to code, and realistic expectations, you're likely to do well in a coding bootcamp. Be sure to check out my video on picking the right bootcamp next. See you in there.